Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome
I don't know
back.
why we're doing this, Kenya, but I love it.
I don't either.
It's
I don't know
fun.
what. This has nothing to do with paella.
Paella.
And
Not
look,
paella.
look who decided to show up now.
Look at this.
Tom
Yeah,
Schmidt.
well, I'm not going to pass an opportunity like this.
Yeah, you haven't talked to me all day, and now all of a sudden we're real popular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Amy Blansit, thank you so much for making this our quicker TV version, which I am assuming is going to be just amazing as.
Well,
as it
I've
would be.
never made it in the 1 hour version, so I have like no guarantees, but it's crispy a little bit on the bottom, which is what you want.
Okay, good.
Oh,
We
okay,
added a
you
little.
want that, okay.
You do, and ideally that should come up on the
down.
plate. Here's
Oh, thank you.
forks.
Well, we can guarantee that it smells fantastic when
Oh,
you're
my
cooking this up.
gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. I can't wait.
Now, can I ask you a question, too?
Yes.
If they were, like, I don't know rabbit as well as I do chicken.
Yes.
Does rabbit also have white and dark meat? And is there
Not
a
as-
preference?
Not as much. It's darker throughout because you know it doesn't have that big of a breast, which is where you're gonna get most of the white meat. But it does bring in a lot more of the flavor.
Okay.
So it's
Ooh, the chicken
Yeah.
is so tender.
Because if I'm at the holidays, I gravitate toward the
yeah.
dark meat.
Wow.
Like,
Yes.
I like
It
it.
is. It-
But my family members are like,
Really
I want
is.
white meat only. And I'm like, what?
yes, and the white meat dries out much faster if you don't do it just right. So ideally, what you're not getting is this layer down here because I have a flimsy spoon.
That's our
But
fault.
That's all right. I should have known and brought the right tools.
my gosh.
But
Look
yeah,
at
you
that.
want that crisp on the bottom, and that's why when you fast track it a bit, some of that sticks.
Yeah,
I
but
got
it looks.
right there.
But that's. Oh, you have a.
yeah.
There
I
we
got
go.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
I started before everyone else.
That's
I'm so
okay.
sorry. How
That's
rude.
all
She's
right.
over here
It's
making a bunch of noises.
Delicious.
Must be real good, I
Hey,
guess.
listen, shut it, eat.
The short version turned out all right. I like it.
Guys,
All right,
this
give it
is
a try.
insanely amazing.
Oh my
I'll give you the
goodness.
recipe so you can share it online.
Oh, please, can we? Would that be
absolutely.
good?
Yeah.
And if the chef is saying the quick version is delicious, that's high praise because she's the one who's had the authentic.
The authentic, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we really do need to have this pan in
yes.
order for it to come
Yeah.
out like this, right?
And ideally, a larger burner would have been great. Or if you if you get this type of pan and you have one of the turkey fryers that you can set it on. Those are ideal to get the fire underneath it because you can control
Okay.
the gas a lot easier than you can on like a ceramic top.
Stupid question. I have a 6-burner gas grill. I mean, a stove at home. Could you set this on one of the gas burners?
That's what I do.
Could that get the same kind of effect then? Because I do love cooking on that.
I get both burners going.
That's what I was
And
going to
then-
ask, both, right?
Yes. Yep. That way you're getting the heat all the way around the outside.
Okay, I would have to do that then.
Yeah.
Because this is seriously insanely amazing. And Dr. Amy Blansit, do you know if anybody in this area sells at Paella at a restaurant? Could you get this somewhere? Do you know? Or I'm just curious because I'm like, if I want to order this, if I go out.
Right.
So I would say here there are a few. There's a new tapas place that's down off of 65 and Battlefield. They have a paella, but again, in a restaurant here, we expect food out in 15 minutes, and you cannot do 15-minute paella. So they have a version. You're going to get at least some of those flavors and some of the feel of it. But it really is, in Spain, if you're going to go minimum, you're waiting 30 minutes for it to come out. And a lot of times you'll call ahead and let them know that you're coming, how many
Gotcha.
people.
That makes sense.
In some restaurants, they're making a pan, if you're bringing 10 people, they're going to bring out a pan, 2 people carrying it, and they set it on the
yeah.
table. Also, traditionally in Spain, you don't use plates, you just eat out of the dish. So there's that.
Oh,
too.
really?
I love that.
And they often
I
had
love
like
that.
wooden spoons so that you can scrape the bottom. So that's very traditional, that it just sets in the middle of the table and everyone digs in together. Very communal. You were asking me how they
Yeah.
live so long. Very social, very communal, healthy foods, olive oils. This has the rice, and then all vegetables. You can even do a veggie-only version. And so, yeah, super healthy, lots of things. But it's all about that community that's so important.
Does
Right.
the timeline, because you said they eat late at night, does the timeline of eating affect it as well?
You don't eat rice for dinner in Spain. It's a lunch thing.
Oh.
They eat very large lunches. That's why they have that longer siesta period.
Oh.
Dinner should be a smaller meal, typically.
Oh,
Yeah. So they know that you're a tourist if you're in Spain and you're like, dinner 9 p.m., I'll have the paella. They're like, or a lot of people
Yeah.
don't even serve it at night because it takes so long to make. So
I
it's very
gotcha.
much a lunch item.
we're so the opposite here.
Wow.
We usually have light lunches,
Correct.
big dinners.
Yes. Yeah.
I bet eating out of the pan, I bet they were hating that during COVID times because, we're not supposed to do that. Because they're just used to having that community.
Correct.
That must have been very hard for them.
Very. And also olive oil is everywhere, just sitting on the table. And they had to switch to, instead of share the olive oil into these little olive packets. Lots of plastic use and waste, which just broke their heart because that's just not their tradition. And then also you're like, wait, you gave me like a teaspoon of olive oil. I need a cup by the time we get through this meal. So it's lots of olive oil.
So forgive me if I missed this, but these are chicken thighs, correct?
Correct.
Yes, so we don't want the chicken breast because it will get so dry.
Correct.
And especially if we're not using rabbit.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
And that's why the dark meat, so normally you brown the meat for 20 minutes to really cook it down, sear the outside on a medium-high heat, and then it's gonna cook in the dish. And then we did the fast track with the chicken broth. You could use a vegetable broth, but normally you then simmer for an additional 20 minutes of just making your own broth. And so all the stuff that's stuck to the bottom, that becomes your roux. You do one last stir, but once you put the rice in, the rule is no more touching. So if you've messed it up before, when the rice goes in, you gotta just see what happens at the end.
I have learned so much today.
It's a fun dish to make.
By the way, can I go for seconds?
Go,
is it okay?
yes.
Like, I cannot tell you how delicious this is.
It's
like,
so good.
It is. There's a lot of
There's
flavor
sometimes-
mixed
I
together.
know,
You
it's
wish
so,
you weren't
so
on
good.
TV because all you want to do is eat. And that's what that rice is insanely delicious.
Yeah, and you were asking about the rice. It's also slightly different. It doesn't get mushy. It holds that more al dente flavor to it. A little bit smaller. So I do actually have to go on, online in order to get the rice, the saffron, a few other items. But it's stuff you can get. You don't have to use the saffron. It mostly is going to add a little bit of a flavor that most people may not recognize, but it's more about the color.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Really?
so it adds that really deep yellowy orange. But a lot of times you're going to get that from the paprika anyway. So that's one item if you can't find or it's a little more expensive you can get out. But a really inexpensive dish to make because you are just talking about some vegetables. We used a canned bean. So they're going to use either a fresh or a frozen larger white bean than what we have. But simple bean you throw in at the end, some green beans, tomatoes, garlic, really small, like you said, really small list of ingredients.
Yeah.
Just take some time and love in order to make it.
Okay, now I've got a question for you now because I'm a loner at home. It's just me. But this is really good.
Meal
Would
prep
it turn out
really-
the same way if I did like a small portion of it, like just a
Yes.
little personal size?
Absolutely. And then that's one thing you also don't need to go and get a specific pan. You do want to make sure whatever pan you're using, though, has a very flat bottom so that you get that even heat.
Okay.
Yeah, cut the recipe. You still could make it.
Wait, Tom, I just thought of something though. Will this save well? Will it refrigerate?
Yes.
Will it freeze? How? Because if you made a big one, you could then separate it in portions and then
And
eat
do
it.
your meal prep.
Oh, yeah.
Do meal prep.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if because you said you don't want to make a lot of it if you're not going to eat it, but you could save it though.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah, heats up,
Good to know.
reheats very well.
Awesome.
Yay. Great.
I'm just eating away, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I've had
get some more
seconds.
too. After I eat it.
By the way,
This is your lunch. I didn't eat breakfast knowing that I was going to chow down on this. So
Me
this
too.
is my
Right.
Is it 10? Almuerzo is 10 o'clock. Oh, we're a little early on Spanish.
Spanish
For eating,
For
yeah.
eating, really
you're
still.
right.
You have your coffee in the morning, and then about 10 o'clock, you're going to then eat a small breakfast. That holds you over until your big meal at 2.
Okay.
I'm still chewing. I'm so
just
sorry.
seem so-
What's for
So
breakfast
different.
when you eat breakfast?
A typical breakfast is going to be a baguette. It's a small baguette, cut open, olive oil, salt and tomato smeared into it, and maybe
love
some
it.
hamon. Really simple.
Guys, we will post this online, plus the recipe. Kenya, Dr. Amy, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning into Ozarks Fox Day. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you Monday.